Right, sons, brick fans, and welcome back to another episode of Building Batuu, Galaxy's Edge in Lego. Now, coming up on today's episode, I'm going to be showing you the brand new mezzanine floor that I've put in. Plus, I've also worked up all of those inner walls, so now I can start supporting the roof and the ceiling. Also got some stairs in now that have been tested. I've done a whole bunch of different tests, and I'm now kind of landed on one, so I'm going to show you through that, as well as the gold trim that's going to run around the edge of Doc Ondar's. Stay tuned, there is stacks coming up on today's episode, so let's hit that hyperdrive and jump straight in. To kick things off today, I did just want to briefly touch on the floor from last week and a comment from Cyrus Builds. He's suggested that there were a lot of gaps in the flooring, and that maybe I could put some of the additional cheese slopes in. That is 100% the plan, but I did kind of overlook that last week. I am going to fill in a lot of that. I've basically just been waiting for an order to come in. Now this outer section as well, I can't really put anything else in until I get the bottom section in here, which will actually allow me to put everything in. That's basically just for a panel that's coming off and a panel that's coming off the top. And I want to detach that so that I can actually get in like this and film inside and from up here. So yeah, there are a few little sections that need to be still fixed, but as soon as I get this section here kind of in there, I can start to get these slopes into place and start filling up some of these gaps around here. You'll also see I'm missing some circular tiles around the circle border, plus over here I need the tiles to come in, and then these steps will step up here, which we're going to jump into now. So this is the stairs from Doc Ondar's. I've gone through a whole bunch of different tests, and you can see from above, like everything in this building, it is curved and will sit in this little section, which I just showed you. It will basically start about there and then walk up to here and attach the edge of this on the mezzanine floor. This has been a little while coming. I've tried a whole bunch of different things. It is pretty tough trying to get all of these kind of circles to work with one another, but I think generally this one has worked out pretty well, and this is where I've landed. It does give me a fair bit of articulation. I did do something similar over near Savvy Salvage and coming up through there, the little spiral staircase. It's got a nice little bit of articulation because of the tile that I put in there, and it basically means it can slide over the top. And then the idea would be that I'd put a little brown clip on the top here and then have a flexi hose run the whole way down and just clip in as it goes past. So I think that this will actually work. I'll put in another one down here, and it does need to step up at least one more time to marry up with the mezzanine floor. Now this is kind of like a floating staircase, so there isn't any supports underneath at all, but I think this actually seems to be fairly stable with the pins and the clips. It does seem to work out pretty well. And as you can see here, it literally just runs off that clip and the tile and runs across that. And then there's a little stopper on the underside to make sure that it doesn't go too far. Aesthetically though, I feel like I've hit pretty much the right look for Doc Ondar's. There will be a few tiles and some grades that go on the top section of this, so there won't just be kind of studs. But that's enough of the stairs. Let's jump over to what the stairs actually connect to, which is the mezzanine floor. Now, if you did see the midweek episode, you will have seen a little hint at this. I obviously hadn't taken it this far, but it does actually continue all the way along to where that dark bluish grey piece kind of rounds off there. and then obviously goes all the way back here. That's where the stairs will join up, and then it swings right the way along. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out with the wedges and everything. And you'll see here these little snot pieces, that'll have a little clip on it, and then a bar, and the bar will basically come up, chunk, 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 and then that pretty much will continue what's going on here. And so you'll see that sort of continue up and then keep going around with the hose. I'll also be putting on some chains at the bottom here that will basically run along right the way along, and that is really just to add a bit of interest and a bit of character. And this section here is where the additional panel will be, and below the removable panels, and of course that is where the stairs will be. And pretty much that's it. I'm pretty happy with how that has turned out. There's so many cool things that are going to go up on top of this mezzanine, which I'm really excited about, and also throughout the inner walls, which we're going to take a look at now. So as you can see now, all of the inner walls have been built up to a certain level, with the exception of the removable panels, but these are all matching the right section. There is a few little interest points, like where Doc Ondar's counters are, and you can see I've kind of mixed up with just a few little bits of the light grey and also the nougat in there, which I think actually works really well. I wanted to keep them quite simple, and you can see obviously all the snot pieces in and around all of that, so that I can put some hanging here. Where this section is comes up, it will actually rise up another section just to come to the top of all of those cladding panels, and then above it will actually be a like all the way around that, so that'll all kind of build up, and then above that, just sitting above it, will be like a little gold trim. So here is the reference for that, and you'll see that just there, this kind of geometric shapes. I wanted to take the opportunity to use that to introduce like a different color into it, so I am going to try to kind of bring a bit more of a gold in there, and it'll just basically sit above here, so when that raises up, it'll just sit on top, and that'll be across the whole way around, just bouncing off the top of that. And then also there's going to be a couple of beams in here, some Technic beams coming from this one here and also this one, and that will actually support the chandelier that's going to be in here as well. But yeah, let's jump in and have a quick look at the gold trim that goes around here now. So starting from here, obviously this will raise up, so I should look at a kind of 6 stud width of these trims, and then when these actually run along and they sort of go bang 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 bang, they should all sort of line up and make it feel kind of circular. This is actually what I've come up with as a little test here, using the slopes, which should help kind of with that kind of feel. I didn't want to use the dark tan. I wanted to introduce a different color, so I have gone with the gold. And as you can see here in the reference again, there is just a slight hint that it is a different color, and I think that kind of greebly gold would look pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's how it would sort of look sitting above there. I'm a little bit torn because, you know, I don't want to really introduce a different color if it's not going to work, but I feel like this will actually add a bit of antiquities to the general look, and that is basically 2 panels right next to one another. So this would be how it would kind of look, and obviously the slopes as they're kind of articulated around the building should help with the circular feeling to it. But if you do look at the reference, there is this sort of more geometric squared thing going on, and maybe I need to do something more similar to that, where I'm sort of creating shapes as opposed to this sort of golden greebly look. Let me know again what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But this, I think the gold color, I think does work. and I'm probably going to go with that. I may actually back it with some dark tan, sort of similar to this, and then have that underneath and then put the gold on the top. But we'll see how it looks. I think I'll keep trying this technique and get it in there and see what it actually looks like. I'm kind of leaning towards something more ornate. I mean, obviously with the cladding, I went something very simplified deliberately because I did want to put a whole bunch of other things in it. Same with the walls, the inner walls, because I knew I was going to have a lot of kind of cool interest things that are going to hang off it. I wanted to make them quite simplistic. That's why I've kind of tried to stick as much as possible just to the sand tan color. And same with the dark tan on the outside. But I feel like the gold trim will really bring that sort of antique feeling to it, which you would expect of Doc Ondars. That will basically then continue onto the grey kind of ring that happens around the top at the start of the roof, and then obviously the domed ceiling. Coming up next episode, I will be working on just bringing all of these up and getting the beams in here so that I can start to support that chandelier and the roof, and doing some tests on the roof dome as well, because again, that's just going to be a real tricky piece just to get sorted. That's obviously going to replicate through the Cantina and Docking Bay 7 because they're very similar structured buildings. So I really just need to get this one right, and we will be sweet. Also then next week I will be putting on that gold trim. So that's pretty much all that's coming up. I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made this week, including the upgrades to the floor and the entrance. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to wrapping this one up pretty soon.
Well, that's it for today, Brick fans. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give us a like. There is a bunch of stuff coming up on the channel. Don't forget, I've got live on Tuesday. I'm going to be building my dream set. Plus, I'm going to start some of my digital designs for the smaller parts of Batuu. So don't miss that one. Also, next week, I've got the chandelier coming out midweek that is for Doc Ondars, plus then the major update which comes out every Sunday. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of that content coming up. And until next time, as they say in Batuu, till the spire, and may the bricks be with you.